just did a performance last week that sold out in Mexico City, which was fantastic. Wonderful outdoor gig in a blinding rainstorm. Everybody was sheltered under a very big tent there. And anyway, we're thrilled to be here at the Gershwin Hotel, who've been very, very staunch supporters of the arts underground and above ground here in NYC. So anyway, without further ado, Bruno Galindo.
Okay, this is about wasps. 22 wasps, bent in fury, are fluttering inside a metallic box, firmly stuck in a pole. In the inside, the wings, violently clattering, mingle with the rhythmical ticking of an electrical meter. Wasps collide and instinctively put their antennae together, for they know they belong to one species. Then they renew their powerless flapping, as if to violently demand their freedom that's just at the other side of the glass. Outside and all around, a thick wood of sycamore, as still as a brittle rock sculpture. A hellish sound explodes, and so the violent spin collisions go on, the anarchic and fatal flutter of the winged ants. And suddenly, as dull as a boat fly, the first wasp falls. It's a Danish. Her movements were already slow and infrequent before her black and yellow thorax, hard as an armor, touched the deformed brass surface. She scratches the air with her thin legs and suffocated bits the plywood with her wings. And the morning after this, the earth steams ahead. The still low sun warms the toph aloes up with its first beam, which is a green beam. One could still hear a gloomy tweet of the big branches of the sycamores, as in the inside of the wasp's nest, a hectic activity is felt. Negash, the most violent of all, the long antennaed. Hayat, the fearsome stinged. And Asmare, the fragile waisted. By dusk, the three of them are fallen. Restless but extraordinarily curious when trapped in an electricity meter. Zemeda, Gebrehiwot, Mitiknesh and Fasika spend their time climbing up one another, but hopelessly they go on, falling once and again. Once Fasika has reached the top, she buries her head between her front legs and begins to slowly and smoothly caress her antenna. A few seconds later, her movements freeze and she falls over the hot metal as a dry shell. 14 wasps left, and the tic-tac goes on. Early morning, Miss Rack drags her thorax along the surface, icy at this hour. On her tiny velvet legs, she reaches the sphere that separates agony from liberty and focuses on covering the border between them. Her wandering and poetless walking seems to recreate the full moon shade, of which the glass is a concentric circle. Mizrak looks like the anarchic hand of a clock. Salama twists her body in fury in such a way that her head and the frontal half of her thorax fit in the cavity of the abdomen, as if she was auscultating herself with her young spin. She becomes a little ball from which only the wings remain free. But there's no way that she can know that this is the very position every threatened individual of her species adopt in the outside world. The same happened to Davina, Judith, and Bisrat during the night. 7 wasps left now. Meseret defies death and gravity in front of the glass, where she's reflected as on a mirror, laying her short, compact, convex abdomen down on the meter surface. From her watchtower, she stupidly observes the surface some centimeters below. Shegut, Tedla, Serkalem, Mariyewa, Tadelesh, all her sisters, all dead, yellow on a bed of removed membranous wings. And she herself does not take long to join them. Several days and nights pass in which the works of the sun and the moon reduce the inside of the nest to a little shell. But among the wasps there's one that, though extremely slowly, still can move an antenna, a leg. She can hardly notice that her body rests almost dead against the meter, not either that the rotation of one of its ciphers opens for a few moments, an extremely thin slot connected to the interior of the mechanism. Himot takes advantage of the instant and gets to that teeth-wheeled core. Then everything closes after her. Her movements decrease. Her senses dulled. It is not until the brass box begins to get hot that she realizes that her body lies on the yellowish, hollow shell of an adult wasp, with features identical to her own, but more developed. It's a queen wasp. At the other side, there's a very thin slit fit for no more than one young wasp, in or out, and then the air. Hewott gets out, falls to the floor, and begins to walk aimlessly through the desert. Some hours later, she raises her head from the floor. A petrified wood of sand and sun is seen all around, veined with sycamores and aloes. And some meters ahead, there's this pole on which a spheric metallic box sparkles. And in the top of the pole, cut high tension wires are seen. And they are connected to nothing. Connected to nothing.